The white roses on the casket were already wilting under the morning sun, but no one dared move them. Not even the soft breeze could carry away the weight in the air. People stood in heavy silence, dressed in shades of mourning. Some wore black suits, others brought nothing but tears and trembling hands. The small town of Hollow Glen hadn't seen a funeral like this in years. The man standing by the casket looked hollow, a shadow of the person he had once been. Nathan Carter, a single father and respected local firefighter, now stood before his daughter's casket with eyes that had forgotten how to blink. 13-year-old Ellie Carter, his only child, had died just 5 days ago in what police declared an unfortunate accident, a hit-and-run, late at night on a rainy street near her school. Except, it didn't feel like an accident. Not to Nathan. And apparently, not to the boy now quietly walking up the hill, feet bare and face grimy. He didn't belong among the mourners. His tattered hoodie hung low, and his jeans were torn at the knees. His sunken cheeks and calloused hands said he'd lived too many years in the streets, even though he couldn't have been older than 15. People began to murmur, uneasy at the sight of him. But he didn't flinch. He kept walking, until he reached the coffin. Nathan didn't recognize him. But before he could ask anything, the boy leaned closer and whispered so only Nathan could hear. "Her killer is standing right there." He lifted a shaking finger, pointing across the crowd. Nathan's breath caught in his throat. The boy was pointing at Councilman Gregory Marsh. Gregory Marsh was everything Nathan hated in a man: corrupt, smug, and untouchable. The wealthiest man in town, he had served on the city council for years, funding community centers and cutting ribbons with the mayor, always in a tailored suit and a plastic smile. But Gregory had one weakness: his 18-year-old son, Bryce Marsh. Everyone knew Bryce was trouble. Wealth had made him reckless. The town's whispers said Bryce raced cars late at night on the very street Ellie was found. But there had been no evidence. No arrest. Just another unfortunate accident. Until now. Nathan's voice broke the silence. "You," he turned toward the boy. "You saw who did it?" The boy nodded slowly, eyes full of fear. "I didn't mean to be there. I was just trying to sleep behind the school gym. Then I saw her cross the road. And I saw the car hit her. It didn't stop." "And you're sure?" Nathan whispered, his hands trembling. "I saw the driver," the boy whispered. "It was Bryce Marsh. He was laughing." Gasps erupted. People turned toward Gregory Marsh, who stiffened, his lips a thin line. "This is absurd," Gregory snapped. "This child is obviously disturbed, he's homeless. Probably looking for attention or a payday. But the damage was done." Nathan's grief turned to rage, bubbling from the depths of his broken heart. But it wasn't the kind of rage that screamed. It was the kind that burned silently, steadily, focused. "I believe him," Nathan said firmly. So did others. Especially Ellie's best friend, Maya, who now stepped forward, her cheeks flushed. "Ellie told me she was scared of Bryce. She said he'd been following her. I thought she was just being paranoid." Tension snapped through the air like a whip. Within hours, the funeral became front-page news. The anonymous homeless boy, who finally told police his name was Liam, was taken into protective custody. Investigators reopened the case. Nathan didn't rest for 3 days. He sat in courtrooms, made calls, demanded truth, and told the town he wouldn't bury his daughter's memory under lies. But what unraveled stunned everyone. Security footage, mysteriously deleted the day after Ellie's death, was recovered from a backup server thanks to a whistleblower janitor. It showed Bryce's car speeding through the intersection that rainy night. Clear. Undeniable. Bryce was arrested. And for the first time, Gregory Marsh's empire began to crack. But amid the storm of justice, there was one soul the town nearly forgot: Liam. He had no parents. No family. He'd been living behind the school gym and in back alleys since he was 10. Abused. Abandoned. Invisible. He never expected anyone to believe him, let alone thank him. But Nathan did more than thank him. After the trial, Nathan found him sitting behind the same gym one night, curled under a sheet of plastic. "You saved my daughter's truth," Nathan said softly, placing a blanket over Liam's shoulders. "You gave her peace. Let me give you something, too." "I didn't do it for anything," Liam replied, his voice cracking. "She was the only person who was ever kind to me. She used to bring me peanut butter sandwiches when no one was looking." Nathan swallowed hard. Ellie had never told him. "She said everyone deserves to be seen," Liam added. "Even the forgotten ones." That night, Nathan made a decision. Liam moved into Nathan's guest room the next day. Not because of pity. But because Nathan knew what Ellie would have done. And because sometimes, the most broken souls are the ones who save others from shattering. The journey wasn't easy. Liam flinched at loud noises. He barely knew how to read. He was terrified of mirrors. But Nathan, through his grief, found healing in teaching Liam how to live. They planted a garden together in Ellie's memory. They painted her room blue, the color of her favorite sky. They went to therapy. They cried. They built a bond not made of blood, but of pain and redemption. 6 months later, Liam stood in front of his new school wearing his first ever ironed shirt and a backpack that wasn't torn. Nathan walked beside him, holding his lunchbox. "You're going to be late, Mr. Carter," Liam grinned nervously. Nathan smiled. "And you're going to do great." "And Ellie?" Liam asked quietly. "You think she'd be proud?" Nathan's eyes shone. "She already is." Years passed. The town changed. Gregory Marsh lost his seat. Bryce went to prison. But Hollow Glen became something new, a town where the truth mattered, where even a homeless boy's voice could break walls. Liam graduated high school with honors. Then college. Then law school. And on the 10th anniversary of Ellie's death, he stood before a crowd at a newly built community center, the Ellie Carter Youth Home, founded by Nathan and funded by donors who once stood at that funeral. Liam told his story. And when he finished, he said, "Sometimes, the ones with the least to give are the ones who give everything that matters. Grief is a language no one chooses to learn, but some are forced to speak it." Nathan lost a daughter, but found a purpose. Liam lost everything, but found a home. And in the heart of it all, a girl with peanut butter sandwiches and a heart full of kindness left behind a legacy that healed others. Because truth, once spoken, especially by the forgotten, can change everything. And because even at a funeral, hope can be born.